Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. First off, sorry we're late. Ended up on a client call this morning, which went over an extra hour. And I wasn't able to tap in and let everybody know. So I appreciate your patience. And thank you to Alex and Purple Princess for being here this morning. It's been a morning. It was a really cool session. It just, some sessions go longer than anticipated. And, and I apologize. So I completely, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to let you guys know. So, hey guys, I'm Jen Snow. I'm your clinical hypnotherapist, Reiki master, energy healer, intuitive medium, and I'm soul regression coach. And we're here to talk about how to release the negativity of a past life. So this is kind of one of those things where when we jump on, we get into a journey, we go into an experience because we're following something. For instance, the part of me, which you guys all saw live, the part of me that wasn't able to receive. So, and if that is something you guys missed in the show, please feel free. It's in the list of the lives. We did it live with Jen Dodds and walk through that. So when we go back into a past life experience, we go through that past life experience. And as we go through that past life experience, we gather the belief systems, the various belief systems, the imprints, the impressions, the negativity, the ideas, the thoughts, the emotions, the events, the situations, the conversations. We gather all of that information. And as we gather that information, we have my notes, right? We all write it down as the coach, the guide, the person that is walking and talking you through this process. It is our job to gather that information. But those of you who do your own journeys at home, there will be moments of deep importance and impressions and essence of that past lives, whether you are fully regressed, which means that you are seeing and moving through that life as if you're seeing it through your own eyes, or if you're in a partial regression, which means that you're kind of watching it like a movie. Both are equally as powerful. One is not better than the other. It's just we all do it differently. We all have our tone, a way of experiencing and working through those journeys. And here it is. Sometimes you might be a partial regression. You might be like, oh, you know what? I'm watching this one. I tend to see through my own eyes, like the incarnated person that I was in that life. I see through their eyes. However, there have been times when I have just watched it. And I never really found that one was better than the other. It was just one of those things that worked out the way it worked out, and I had to learn not to think about it too much. And that's one of the things when you're going on a past life journey, however the impressions come to you, whether you see them, whether you feel them, whether whether it's like watching a video or you're watching through your own eyes, just let yourself settle into the experience and how it's going to work for you that day, and let it reveal itself. The moment we get into the thinking pattern, we get back into our conscious space or everyday consciousness. And that's when we begin to question it, or we begin to impose our own ideas of what's about to happen and how it's supposed to work. One of those little taggy things is showing here. Oh, well. And that can actually interrupt the process. That can get in the way. So if this is something you're new to or something you experience all the time, let the life reveal itself. Let the impressions of the life reveal itself exactly how it is meant to be, and allow yourself to go with it, go with the flow of it. So when you get into that past life, you touch down into a scene, you touch down into a moment of that past life, and we gather a little bit there, and then we head back to childhood and we start to work through that life. Like I said, gathering all the information. And it's funny, it can be something so simple as viewing the world as dirty, or something very traumatic. So the trauma and the shock, that is also what we record, because there's something that connects your belief system to that life, that experience, that emotional connection that is interrupting or has become a part of your present incarnation. Whether it could, sometimes it's about lessons learned. It's about things that, you've already learned the lesson, but you had an experience and in this lifetime, in this incarnation, that felt very similar. So those belief systems get rooted because they've already been rooted in your subconscious mind. You've already experienced them, so you begin to reestablish them into your present experience. And so why it's important to screen out the negativity, the impressions, the imprints, the thought patterns, the belief systems, the emotions from those previous incarnations, those alternate incarnations, is because we can then clear the slate. So
Alert
that
from software update.
Apparently I have a software update coming. Of course I do. Hang on, let's get rid of that. Oh my, I think I lost you guys. There we go. It's just one of those days. It feels like it's like Friday the 13th all over again. So as we get to the end of the life, record what we need to record, and then we go through the moment of transition in that life. And once we get on the other side of transition in that life, the information of that life actually usually comes to you even more clearly. The experience of that life is now downloaded because you've had that experience before. Hello, beautiful. A little updating. Oh, I know. You know what? It happens in the most inconvenient times. Even though it's on Do Not Disturb, that message somehow gets through every single time. Like, ugh. But, and just for a side note, I know this is totally off topic, but I can now play videos in the background, which is pretty fun, actually. So I'm going to have to come up with some new stuff with the video background instead of just the photo background. And I'm pretty excited about that. Even just way too excited with the little things that I'm learning here. So when we get through the moment of transition, that moment is a big one, right? It is. Like, it's kind of cool. I mean, I'm thinking like doing some trippy stuff in the background. I got to play in Canva. I'm not going to lie. I did not know I could do that until I actually was recording personal guided sessions for a couple clients of mine. So, careful sidebar this one, because this is kind of, this is their personal background for their YouTube link on their personal guided recording. So I do, those personal guided recordings customized to you. So we establish what you need to help you get into that place where you can travel, you can make positive changes, where you can support the changes that you made. And then I record them and I send it up as an unlisted YouTube link. And then I send you the link, and that way you have access to it. And it's there wherever you go, wherever you might be, you can jump in and find it. And I also send the link as an email. That way you have it in your email, just so you have it double saved. Because if you're anything like me, the double save is really good. As well as, it's nice to be able to access it even when you're on vacation or not at home, or if you don't have your phone with you, and being able to do it on your computer just as well. So, and I figured out in StreamYard that we can do videos now in the background. So we're going to have some fun in future shows, because why not? I've got some ideas and I'm excited. So I thought I'd share my excitement with you guys. So like I was saying, when we get to the moment of transition, we get to the other side where you're now able to gather the information about that whole experience. And as we go through the screening part, the information about the purpose and the lessons and what the purpose for your soul going into that incarnation was, because that's a big thing. Once you know the purpose of that life, it's easy to know and to remember. I'm going to use the word remember, that you've already learned that lesson. So that lesson that you may be connected to in your present incarnation has already been learned. So that lesson can be now dissolved from your present incarnation into in your present timeline, and so that you can move forward without the past being a part of your present and dictating your future. So once we get there, we do something called soul screening. So this is a technique that I learned in school, and it is about working through these energetic screens that filter out the experience of that past life, emotion by emotion, belief system by belief system, imprint, impressions, trauma, shock, everything that came up in that past life that is creating a block or is connected to your present life incarnation experience that is holding you back or creating a belief system that isn't helping you move forward. Whatever we're working on, whether it be self-sabotage, to a lack of confidence, to weight release, stop smoking, you name it. It could be anything. It could be the block that's blocking your higher connection, your connection to your higher self. I mean, Yes, I have not niched to one particular thing because the tools that I use work across the board. And I know we're supposed to niche and we're supposed to do all that, but I like being able to help people when, depending on what it is that is stalling you, that is keeping you stuck, that is preventing you from moving forward and unwinding the old and stepping into the person that you were meant to be in your soul's purpose. So maybe that is my niche, but the topic, the general topic, like the topic that is your personal topic that is holding you back, typically you see this, people do one thing, and I have been able to utilize every step of the way to encompass what it is that is in your way and helping you unwind it, helping you dissolve it, helping you clear and release it so that you can move forward and step towards your desired outcome. And so we imagine these energetic screens, and you can do this on your own, or if you do a one-on-one or my group sessions, because we've used this in our group Tuesday night class, and we're going to be using it again to clear the path. And soul screening, we start to screen through, and as you move through, you're giving your body, your mind, your emotion, your whole energy field permission to send what you've brought forward from that past incarnation, that past experience, and you're sending it back to that moment, releasing it from yourself fully and completely and fully. And we go through everything. And then when we get towards the light, that oversoul, that higher self, that divine energy, there might be something that you sense that you're ready to leave behind, and we go through that as well. Good morning, Alex. Thank you for coming back. Sorry, we had a session that went way over time, and I know I'm late actually. And so I wasn't able to send a message this morning saying, "Gonna be late." So we go through the screening process, and as we do that, it screens out at the cellular network of your being that particular, for example, leaving behind the fear of spiders from that life. Say you went to a past life, and we're working on releasing the fear of spiders so that you're no longer afraid of spiders, and it took you to a past experience. So everything around that and more, we start to screen out. We start to screen out on the energetic level. Well, as we screen out on the energetic side, the energy side of you, it also filters through the mind, the emotions, and the body. And it kind of like it goes emotion, mind, body, and it goes through. And by the time we get to the end of the screening, there's typically nothing left from that past life, that is that past experience that is holding you back. And when before we step into the light, I often ask this question, and 99.9% of the time, you will be able to share and understand the lesson and the purpose of that incarnation. And a lot of times, and it's funny how this works, is it doesn't have anything to do with the block, but there was an experience in past incarnation that created the block that has been activated and rooted into your present experience, and that is in the way. So that's how we clear out the negativity, the trauma, the shock, the belief systems, the ideas, the habits, the patterns. So again, coming back to that generational legacy too, is we all of that gets cleared out as well. Like sometimes as the person here in the now, your legacy, your generational connection will actually end up taking us back to a life that your soul wasn't actually in, but the generation, the legacy, the ancestors that you stepped into, their lineage. So you're clearing out the lineage, you're clearing and creating space. So even if we end up in a generational life, and those souls have come in and they cleared it, we actually still go through the screening process. We still go to the moment of transition at the end of that life, and we screen out anything that's come up from that life just to make sure that none of that is connected in your energy field, your emotions, your mind, your physical body, and it's all clear and released and back into that life where it belongs. So that experience and the imprint and the impression of that experience is in your Akashic records, but it's not an active experience that you are reliving in your present incarnation. And that is the point and the purpose of soul screening. Screening out the things that no longer serve your highest and greatest good, the things that are standing in your way. Now, is this something for just past lives? No, you can actually do this if you end up in your current experience in your present incarnation. However, instead of sending that the negativity, the trauma, the shock, the belief systems, the various belief systems, the imprints, the impressions, the emotions, the linkages, the webs, the connections, the cords, the energies of that moment back to that moment. We actually send it up to the divine. We send it through the higher self, so the higher self can send that energy and revert that energy, that shadow energy, back to light, and then it fully integrates back into the space of incarnation as light body versus shadow body. And that is something, if you know, it's something I use definitely when it comes to helping people become non-smokers, is the screening process, screening out the habits and the patterns and the cycles and the belief systems and the emotions and the thoughts and the experiences, the conversations, and working through. So that's actually where I started to play with that, because originally we weren't, it wasn't taught to us to use this in the present incarnation, but I started to play with it and see what the outcome can be. And I noticed that doing the screening process in the energetic, in the subconscious mind, when it came to breaking habits, fears, and phobias, really, really helped, energetically, emotionally, mentally, and physically release the ties that connected each part of the process together, each part of the habit and the pattern and the cycle together. So that is something that you can do. Also with weight release, that's another big one, doing the screening from this, the habits, the cycles, the patterns, the emotions, everything, or even self-sabotage or feeling insecure, self-esteem, lack of confidence, a lack of joy, just really starting to shift the makeup from the energetic side to the emotion, mental, and physical. So really seeing that kind of like that waterfall effect happen as we get back to the foundation within ourselves, that home base, that center core, and having the old energy, the old cycles, the old patterns cleared out. So you can use this in your present work for now, like the present you work, or you can use it when you step back into a past life. It just really all depends on where your work takes you, where the moment, that when you ask your subconscious mind, your soul, your higher self to take you to the most appropriate place and time and space, that will help you discover what you are looking to discover. And wherever you land, you have tools to begin to clear and release the connections, the ties, the cores, the energies, the belief systems, the imprints, the impressions of that moment, so that moment is shifted for you, and how you carry that moment has changed. So, and what do the screens look like? Well, they're different for everybody. Some people see them, some people feel them, some people just know they're there. I actually am the guy who just knows they're there. For some reason, I've never actually seen the screen the way it's always been presented to me. But I know when a person has gone through the screen based on their breath pattern. And I know when I've moved through that screen based on my feeling and my breath pattern. So for me, it's a feeling thing. Once or twice, I did see it as a bunch of color, but I didn't see them as an actual individual screens. Now I have a lot of clients who see them as, that mesh screen on sliding glass doors. That's kind of how I present it. It's like a mesh screen, like on a sliding glass door. However, it's energy, and you can move through it easily and simply. But as you move through it, those energy cords filter out and leave on the back of that screen the things that I'm asking you to, the things that you're willing to, the things that you're voluntarily allowing yourself to release and clear and let go of. So then we begin to move through, and screens come to you. So you're not going to the screens are coming to you, and you're moving through that screen. So it's this beautiful dance of voluntarily letting go of the things holding you back. And when we get into the volunteer space, it really does increase your capacity to easily and effortlessly let things go. Now, that's not saying that every once in a while we have to have a double screen, because sometimes we need a triple screen because things are so big and the impressions and the imprints of those moments are so large. We need that. So, yeah, and that is one way to see those screens, to visualize them, imagine them, sense them, feel them, be aware of them, know that they're there. Sometimes they just, it's, like I said, sometimes it looks like that filtering screen, like the screen from a sliding glass door. Sometimes it's just color. Sometimes it's just a feeling and a knowing. And sometimes it's simply just the way your breath, rolls through as you release and let go. And there is this, like, it's actually profound how this certain breath cycle happens as people are moving through their screens. Whether you're in person or online, there is a certain release breath that happens that really just indicates that, yes, you're on the other side of that screen, and yes, you've let that go. And until I kind of see that breath, I'm waiting for that moment of acknowledgement. So that's the other thing when we get to the other side in sessions. I ask you to acknowledge yes or no, that if you need help or if you're through. And a lot of times it'll be yes, or it'll be the ideomotor responses just through your finger moments based on your subconscious mind choosing your yes finger and your no finger. And depending on the client, everybody's a little bit different. So if I can't see your hands because we're doing it online, just the way you're sitting, then we just go to the yes or no comment. But I usually wait till I see that breath before I check in. And I always give the option that if you need help moving through the screen, just to let me know. And then we go through a different process of helping you work through what it is that you need in that moment to voluntarily move through that screen, releasing what it is that we're working at letting go. And these screens can, for me, it's a deep breath. Like, it's always a deep breath. And I actually have one client who rides a unicorn through her screens. Every time we do a soul regression and we end up back in a past life, it is a unicorn that guides her through her screens. And that unicorn is one of her guides. And she pops on and off she goes. And that is just what she needs, because, to release what voluntarily release. And so your imagination comes into play here. Your ability, we imagine what we need to feel supported, safe, and secure to begin to shift. And however that plays out for you, it's going to be different for everybody. I had another client who swims through the screens. That's her. She's a water baby. Oh, she loves the water. And she's had so many incarnations as a whale and, aquatic creatures. That water is her power space. And funny enough, that's not her element in this life. So we go into the water space for her. The screens are like waves. So she sees it as a wave that she's gliding through. And, so the imagery can be very different. Sometimes it's not a filtering screen like those screens on the sliding glass doors. Sometimes it's very different. I have several other clients that just each one is a ray of color. That ray of color that associates the chakra where the imprint or the belief system is sitting within their energetic self. So they move through that color, and that color filters out that chakra, which is the root space where that belief system, that cord, that idea, that various belief system, that imprint, that impression is sitting and resting. So it can be very different and unique, and it will be unique and different for you. And if it comes through just as like a simple screen, that's perfect, because that's what you need in that moment. And perhaps in every session, it could change. It could change totally and completely every time you do this. But it is one way to begin to release what you've carried forward from a previous incarnation and experience, and let it go back to that experience where it belongs, so that it's no longer a part of your present moment and is no longer affecting or dictating your actions and reactions and your thought patterns and your ideas and your belief systems and your habits and your cycles in this present incarnation, in this present moment. So yeah, that is soul screening. That is an easy way to begin to unwind, release, and clear what's holding you back. If you, on your journeys, on your travels, end up in a past life, or perhaps you are working at breaking a cycle, a habit, or a pattern that is no longer aligned with who you are and want to be, and continue to support and encourage and unfold within yourself and create. So there you go, guys. Thank you for your patience. I do appreciate you guys. And if you like this kind of content, you like these tools, tips, and tricks, please hit that smash button, that like button. And if there is something that you would like to discuss, leave me a comment in the comment section, and I will build an entire show around it and make sure that we get that question answered. All right. And for those of you who are like, I want to try this out. I'm thinking like, maybe this is where I want to be in life. I want to give this a go. Oh, you're so welcome, Purple Princess. I do have a free discovery call going. If you go to blendedconnections.com, you can set up your free call. We can talk about what is standing in your way, what is preventing you from moving forward towards your desired goals and reaching those goals, and how I can help you unwind them, clear them and release them from both this present or past incarnations. All right, guys, have a wonderful Wednesday. We will be live Friday morning. And everything should be in flow. So we shouldn't be late. All right. So have a great day, guys. Much love. Talk to you soon. Cheers.